Yes.
And now it's reverting back to what it used to be, which was a farm with a little farm museum in it.
So if you actually had to convince somebody in real life that you were going to run the farm, it's
All right. How? And I lost the farm, Dave.
Hey, where's the farm?
Where's the farm?
get your protector.
Oh.
And then after Paul's just going to introduce the process, talk about the request for proposals. Then we're going to turn it over to Matt, who's the co-owner of Red Plant Vegetables, and the interim manager at Snake Dam Farm. Just recently, they hired Northern Rhode Island Conservation District has hired 2 managers for the farm, and that doesn't mean necessarily they're going to farm the whole farm. It's kind of up to your plans and up to the future and up to other farmers who might want to lease a field out to grow a specific crop, to grow specific crops, to grow specific animals. So they're going to need guidance as to which fields they work in. So it may well be a lot like a community garden where you have different plots for different people, holders, share, like co-housing, you share. I don't think it's actually being cast in concrete is exactly how it'll turn out, but Paul will tell us more. Matt will tell us more. Paul will eventually.
Thank you very much. As Ada had said, I chair the Northern Rhode Island Conservation District, and this has been a very strange evolving problem. We started off a couple of years ago. We had an unhealthy building with the Northern Rhode Island Conservation District. We went looking for a new place to stay. The Parks and Rec Department had offered us a house that they had problems with. So we ended up having to rehab this house back in 2010. Based on this, of being able to take care of that house and our investment, they approached us about the possibility of taking over this part of Snake Den Park. This previously was the Dame Farm, and before that, it was farmed by other families. So it was an active farm for decades, probably even on centuries. Very little management in the last year or so, just primarily haying. So this is what we are concerned about. So this is what you're going to be concerned about. So your scenario talks about these fields, roughly about 60 some odd acres in fields, and the rest is in the woodlots. What we ended up doing is we had to sell ourselves. So we spent a year literally in negotiations with DEM, Planning and Development, Parks and Rec, Agriculture, etc. And when they felt that we were okay, we had to go to the State Properties Committee and start talking to them about it. So this is our presentation that we have to give to basically DEM to say that we're worthy of taking this land over. My concern was, we are a nonprofit. If we lose money on this, we're out of business. So we're looking at this as a real life scenario and looking for you people to come up with real life scenarios. We are really in the fundamental program of this. What we're trying to encourage is that with our mission, we're looking at a usable, sustainable, conservation-minded approach to bring historic, now Snake Den Farm back into agricultural production. We strive to use, since we are not the feds, we actually spell things out. Best management practice, AKA BMPs, we want to enhance the integrity of Snake Den natural resources. Foster a community bond between the farm and our neighbors, and provide land for successful growing agricultural in that. While getting this land back into production, our mission also as a group is a lot of educational outreach. Previously, this farm had a lot of stuff going on. They have an old museum out there that was very active about 30 years ago, and it's walking into a time warp. We have to change some of the timelines because they pretty much stopped. But we're looking forward to getting the group and the neighborhood back into this. Our major things we're fostering, this is us, growing farms, growing communities, growing sustainability. We come right off, and basically, if we listen to the last presentation, what was one of the limiting factors? It's land available. We have potentially land available. So we understand that a lot of farmers need access to land. So that was one of our premises that we're working on. And it goes through what we're struggling with, etc. And what we're looking to do is to craft long-term sublease agreements which allow farmers to build equity and improve the land for future generations. We're also looking at to build management systems that meet our goals of making Snake Den Farm economically and environmentally stable. We're going to try to bring the farmhouse to full occupancy, renting the first floor, live-in farmers, etc., and who we're trading or bartering, or even if you turn now into the new History Channel stuff on dickering, this is what we're primarily trying to do, is an old-fashioned type of thing. We will give you rent and maybe some other amenities if you will give us labor, if you will manage things along that line. We're looking to offer educational opportunities out there for farmers because we have a lot of assets out there that are literally untapped. We have a large farmhouse. We can use it for a variety of different reasons. We also have a large barn. So our goal and the mission that we've been assigned to from DEM is that we can use this for agricultural pursuits. And we're also looking to get the local community involved in this. It's very critical. This has been a mainstay for them. If you live in Situate, you know that Providence Water is a mainstay. People drive by it all the time and notice what's going on. What we have found is, and when you develop your plans, you have to realize we are literally underneath a microscope out there. There is no lack of people concerned about what we're doing out there. So we have quite a few neighbors, and it's very strange when you live out of the country, you don't see your neighbors and you don't do a lot of different things, but they know if you moved your pickup truck to the other side of the yard. There's not much that they miss, and that's exactly where we are out there. And we're trying to create a whole farm system which offers opportunities to our leaseholders and their business goals, encouraging communication and exchanging between farm enterprises while not ourselves offering any form of economic support. This is going to have to be stand on your own on this one. One of the things that I'm running into is we've had a lot of challenges. We did not sign the property agreement with the state until September of 13. At that point, we solicited trying to get a farm manager out here. It took a little bit of a time. We had 20 applicants for it. We had a very difficult time because they came in and it was literally like a shotgun approach. They were all over the board, a whole variety of good ideas, and we ended up narrowing it down to a handful, and we ended up interviewing this handful, and it took us weeks because the board could not decide because of the attributes of the top four. So we had a lot of discussion because one of the bases is, yes, we have an organization, we do education very well. This part, our organization does not do 100% well because we don't have the experience in managing a farm. We give technical assistance, we send people to NRCS, but the nitty-gritty, the day in and day out type of part of the operation, the Northern Rhode Island Conservation District does not have that experience. So that's why we were hoping to get a good farm boss out there to manage it, and we hired Matt Tracy to basically teach us about agriculture and things that you drive by a farm, everything looks like it's running fine. There's all these little things to make it function, and that's what it was. So the premise was that, and it still comes down to why are we doing it? And why are we looking at multiple farms out there? If you rely on the new agricultural statistics, the amount of farms has risen from 800 to 1,200 farms in Rhode Island, okay? That's a 50% increase. Now, there hasn't been a big increase in the amount of acreage available. So there are quite a few people out there interested in doing this. In small farms, we sent out our proposals. We were looking for people in the 2 to 7 acre category. We might bounce that up a little bit higher. We want to have multiple farmers out on this tract of land. We don't want to have incubator farmers because once again, it comes down to is, I don't want to lose money. So we, being a nonprofit, we still have to have a cash flow. Incubator farmers, we felt would be it would be more difficult to work with them because they're just starting off. You know, if they started off at something like the McCoy's field and worked through that and got some of their kinks out, we're looking for someone that is going to be committed in the long run, working 5 to 10 years. We're looking at long-term leases with them, and we're looking at them bringing in their own equipment. And with a long-term lease, we're asking them to improve the land and do a variety of different things out there to enhance us. Very much so. If I stress anything, we've had exercises over the years, we've built scenarios, and we have sent you to do these scenarios, and they're real life things. This is it. We don't have 100% of our plans documented at this point. We're relying on input from a lot of different groups, and you're one of the major groups that we're looking at helping us.